everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be showing you guys how to make this gorgeous mesh two-toned shoulder bag, and I got some requests on TikTok to do this tutorial, so I decided to write the pattern and show you guys how to make it. So first, what you want to start off with is your two colors. I'm going to be using these two yarns from Joann's, the Big Twist company, and you're going to have some scissors. Then you also want to get a hook, obviously. I am going to be using a 4.5mm hook. So first things first, you want to start off with a slip knot, and it's pretty self-explanatory, just like this. Next, what you're going to do is chain 40. So we're going to chain 40 chains, but for total, we're going to have 38 stitches. So yeah, you want to go ahead and chain 40 chains. Now that we have our 40 chains, what we're going to do is skip 2 stitches and place our hook basically 2 chains apart from where we're starting at. And you guys want to make sure you work in the back loop. So there's these little loops in the back. You want to place your hook in there. So we're going to place our first double crochet right there. We're going to do 2 double crochets, and then we're going to chain 2, and this creates the mesh pattern. So we're going to do 1 more double crochet here. Right after we do this 2 double crochets, we're going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then place our hook into the 3rd stitch. This is what creates the mesh pattern. So you're going to just repeat this all the way to the end of this row. Just repeat the pattern, 2 double crochets, skip 2 stitches, chain 2, and repeat until you get to the end of the row. Okay, you guys, so now that we finished our first row, we're going to go on to the next. So you're going to start off by chaining 2, and then you're basically just going to repeat what you did in row 1 for a total of 10 rows for the base of the bag. So yeah, you just want to do your double crochets, the 2 double crochets, chain 2 again, skip 2 stitches, and then do 2 double crochets again. So yeah, just repeat that for a total of 10 rows. Now that we have completed the 10 rows for the base of the bag, we're going to start out now by creating the body of the bag. So the way that you do the body of the bag is you chain 2, and we're going to start working on the sides of the bases instead of from, bottom to top. We're going to start working on the sides. So we're going to do 2 double crochets on the side of the bag, and you're placing these stitches into each row of what you previously did. So that was row 10 of what I just finished. I'm going to chain 2, skip a row, and I just wanted to put a stitch marker so that you guys can see what the first stitch was. So yeah, you're going to chain 2, skip a row like I just showed you guys, and go into the next row. Place 2 double crochets again, and you're just going to repeat that all the way until you get to the other side of the base. So you guys see I'm chaining 2 again. I'm going to skip a row again. I'm going to skip that row and go into the next row. And yeah, I'm just going to do this all the way until I get all the way down the bottom of the side of this base. Okay, I've made it to the bottom of the base of the bag. I'm going to chain 2, skip that last row, and then go in to the top of this part of the bag. So we're going to just repeat what we did for most of the bag. It's pretty self-explanatory now, and you're just gonna make sure what you did on the side of the bag matches with when you get to the other side of the bag, and then you're going to slip stitch into that first double crochet that I put the stitch marker on. So yeah, go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way until you get all the way around the whole entire base of the bag, all the way to the stitch marker. Now that I have finished row 1 of the body of the bag, I'm going to end with a chain 2 and then slip stitch into that first double crochet that we did, and make sure you do put a stitch marker so you don't forget what the first one is. So yeah, I'm just gonna slip stitch into that and then repeat this for another set amount of rows. So you're gonna chain 2, and then we're going to place 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. So we did 1 double crochet. Now we're going to remove the stitch marker and place the next double crochet after that one. And another tip that I did forget to mention was for people who have trouble remembering what row we're on, especially with like the mesh type of pattern, it's hard to notice what row you're on. So you're going to put your stitch marker on the first 2 double crochets that we did so that you know which row you're on. So yeah, you just want to repeat this for a total of 14 rows using this color, and then once we hit row 15, we're going to change it to the other color. So I am about 10 or 11 rows in for this color, and a tip that I have for you guys is the first row that you have done for the actual body of the bag and not the base, make sure you put your stitch marker on the first row so that you're able to easily count where the actual first row is, because before I had like trouble counting it when I was writing the pattern because I just made it freehand the first time, so I had to write the pattern for the video. And a key tip is to put the stitch marker on the first row so that you know where you're counting from. So this would be row 1 of the actual body of the bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the amount of rows that I need for this color, and then we'll switch to the next color, which is this really like dry brown looking color from Big Twist. So keep going, you guys, we're almost done. So now I am changing the color to the other brown that I'm going to be using for the bag, and you're just going to do 1 row of this color because it's going to go into the strap color, which is going to be the same brown that we're using now. So you just want to repeat what you did for the body of the bag for 1 row, and then next I'm going to show you guys how to do the straps. Okay, you guys, so I just finished the first row of this other color, and you're only going to do 1 like row of it all the way around the bag. Now you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch, and we're going to cut it. If I can find my scissors, I'm going to cut the yarn a decent length. And yeah, so this is what your bag should look like at this point. Okay, so next what you're gonna need is some stitch markers. You're gonna need a total of 4. So you're gonna make sure your straps are placed 11 spaces apart, and you should have 17 total spaces for the straps. So basically by that, what I mean is that when you place the stitch marker on the bag, you should place it on the end of this one space and the beginning of this one space. So the way you know where you place your stitch markers is you start from the middle. So this will be the middle. So this is count as 1 space right here, and you're gonna go across the other way until you get to 11 spaces apart. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these are the 11 spaces apart. You're gonna place 1 stitch marker right here, and I'm gonna count again: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spaces, and then I'm gonna place my stitch marker right here. you're gonna repeat this on the other side of the bag. So you're gonna flip it around, look at where the middle is, count this way. So 1 to stitch marker right here, and then you're gonna count 11 spaces to the left. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. That's the 11th space. So you're gonna place your stitch marker on this stitch right here. So this is what it should look like. These are the spaces for the straps, and when I said earlier that you should have 17 spaces for your straps, it should be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. So these are the 17 spaces for your straps. So yeah, you're gonna go ahead now and start doing that, and you want to make sure it's even on both sides. So I'm going to count here: 1 2 3 15 16 17. So yep, it is the same. And now what you're going to do, you guys, is get your yarn. That's going to be the color for the straps. Place your hook in that first stitch marker. You're going to chain 2. You're going to place a double crochet in this stitch right here, and then another double crochet in the next stitch. You're gonna follow the same pattern that we did for right here all the way to the other stitch marker. So you're gonna, of course, chain 2, do the 2 double crochets again, and you're just gonna repeat that all the way to the end of the spaces for the straps. Okay, you guys, so I just finished my first row for the strap, and I placed my stitch marker on the first row so that I know how many I'm doing. Next, for row 2 to 3, you're going to start decreasing, and the way that I decrease is I'm just going to chain 2 at the end or beginning of the row, and we're gonna decrease by skipping a space. So I count this section and this section, the 2 double crochets and then the chain 2 space, as spaces. So we're gonna skip a space, and the way we skip a space is literally ignore this and then place your double crochets in the chain 2 space. So you just decreased by doing that, and then you want to chain 2 again. You're gonna skip this, place your 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space of the previous row, and you're gonna do this all the way to the end. At the end, you should end with I believe a double crochet, but I'll show you guys once I get there. Okay, so we're also gonna decrease at the end of row 2, and the way that you want to do that is you want to place a double crochet in the chain 2 space. You're gonna yarn over, place your hook in one of the next double crochets. Don't pull it through the next 2. You're gonna yarn over again, place your hook into that next double crochet, and then you're gonna pull through 2, or 3. So now you have 2 stitches here, and you have just decreased. Next, for row 3, we're going to chain 2 again. We're going to skip this space, and we're going to place our double crochets into the chain 2 space, and you're going to repeat this all the way to the end again, what you did in chain 2, and you're going to do this until you have a desired thickness of your strap. I did it until I had 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 spaces. So yeah, you can do that, or you can decrease until you have 5 spaces, 6 spaces, however many you want to, but I did decrease until I reached 11 spaces, and that wasn't a lot of decreasing rows, but I will put it on the screen how many rows I decreased to reach the 11 spaces. Okay, you guys, so I've reached the 11 spaces, and that means I did a total of 3 rows of decreasing. This is the first row of just regular double crochet, chain 2 space, blah blah blah. For the decreasing, we did 3 rows of decreasing until we reached the 11 rows. So now at this point, I'm just gonna crochet a random length on both sides. I'm going to repeat exactly what I did here on this other side until I reach my desired length for the strap. So as you guys can see, it is the same length now as this other strap. And yeah, I'm just going to repeat this until I reach my desired length. And you want to remember that you're going to be doing the same thing on the other side. So you want to make sure both straps meet in the middle. So whatever length you choose to do, go ahead. I'm going to put on the screen how many I did so that you guys know. Again, it's pretty simple. So just rewind the video if you got confused about what you're supposed to do with the straps. But yeah, you guys. Okay, you guys, so we are finally done making the mesh shoulder bag, and I really love how it turned out. I hope you guys were able to follow along. I have these 2 bags available on my website if you guys want them. And yeah, that is all for this video.